Okay, back to our topic of how savers can avoid being blindsided by another stock market crash, and why I'm so concerned about the current high valuation of the stock market as we record this show on January 19th, 2022. Now, my first reason for concern is an understanding of what I call the 7-year itch, which, if history repeats itself, 2022 could be a year that could blindside your 401k as the stock market might correct itself. You know, according to those who keep up with the ups and downs of the stock market, the average bull market lasts about 70 months. That's when the market's going well, while the average bear market about 15 months, unless, of course, you remember the tumultuous years of 2000, 2001, and 2002, which crashed for 3 straight years, and then the infamous year of 2008, which saw savers' 401ks blindsided to the tune of a 57% loss in value, and taking almost 4 years to get back to break even, which is fine if you're 40 years of age, but not if you're retired or nearing retirement. My second concern with today's high-flying stock market is its current valuations, which surprisingly includes 5 stocks out of the 500 in the S&P that account for 25% of the overall valuation. Translation, in my humble opinion, this current stock market is not worth as much as everyone thinks. And then finally, today's low interest rate environment, which I feel is propelling much of the stock market prices upward. My concern there is if they end up raising interest rates, stock market prices are going to have to drop. Just look at the drop yesterday on January 18th and how quickly Wall Street got spooked over the prospects of rates rising. So what can savers do to avoid getting blindsided by another 2008? Well, just like a successful high school coach having a game plan, you too need a game plan for protecting your money. So here's what I'm going to do. Coach Wallace did this earlier. I'm going to go over to the whiteboard and actually show you what we at Tony Walker Financial do to strategize to help you with a game plan so you don't get blindsided. I'm going to get my cheat notes here. So Coach Wallace mentioned several different players. We're only going to talk about 4 defensive players that are trying to blindside you in your retirement. The first, that would be your left tackle. Okay. That's the stock market, which again, as we record this, he's not getting through the offensive line. Everything's going great. The next defender trying to get at you is taxes. Remember, if you've got a 401k, IRA, lump sum pension, that thing is infested with a tax tumor, and it's going to try to break through and take that quarterback out. The third defensive player trying to blindside you is fees. And finally, the last culprit that we worry about is something called inflation. Okay, that's the defense. Those are the opponents trying to get at your quarterback, which is obviously your money. Now, who would the offensive lineman be? Well, first of all, the first offensive lineman is what we have at Tony Walker Financial, our proprietary split IRA concept. This is our left tackle. This is our Michael Orr, if you will, because it's going to be there to block and keep out those stock market crashes when they eventually come our way. Now, what is behind the split IRA? Well, first of all, it's an ingenious tool that works well for savers, but more importantly, you have standing there in the wings to help out blocking the defender is Tony Walker and the wisdom and experience I have of meeting with over 15,000 people and listen, overseeing and orchestrating more than 5,000 written game plans. We also have a great crew, a staff, which includes 3 paid salaried fiduciaries and 10 full-time service experts that are standing there again, making sure that that stock market crash doesn't get to your money. The next opponent there, taxes, we have the game plan. You know, without a written game plan, people can talk about saving you taxes all day long. There's a lot out there right now, everybody promising to save you taxes. But if you don't have a written game plan and you start trying to do Roth conversions and taking money out earlier and trying to pay off debt, you can really create some problems for you. So we have that written game plan. So if you don't have a written game plan, that's something we can certainly help you with. Fees. Now, I know a lot of people talk about fees, but they bury those fees. They act like they're no big deal. There's even goofy ads on TV that talk about they make money when you make money. They don't tell you, though, that they still make money when you lose money. And so do we. With our Charles Schwab platform, though, rather than charging you 1.5% or 2%, we charge a whopping fee of 0.8%, one of the lowest fees in the industry, and I believe we provide more service than most money managers. We do everything local out of our Bowling Green office. We have paid staff. We pick all the portfolios. We make all the reallocations and rebalancing. We get you the money. You call us to help you with anything you need related to Charles Schwab, and again, for a fee of 0.8%. And then finally, inflation. Now, we've talked about inflation on this show many times. Folks, inflation is real. I know that. It ain't going away. Every year, more than likely, we're going to have inflation. Well, how do we combat that? You know how we combat that? With a philosophy, okay? It's called the Live Well, Die Broke philosophy. Now, the Live Well, Die Broke philosophy takes into something that most people do not consider because they don't have the experience of retirement planning, and that is something I created called the 3 halves of life. You see, over the years, what I've noticed is while inflation is real, the majority of people, as they get into what we call the second half of life, will begin to spend less and less money. In fact, in this graphic you see here, this blue shading, that represents your net worth. And although I know it sounds counterintuitive to have your money going down in value, with the split IRA concept, we want it to go down. And then what we do on the back end of the split IRA, that's where we put those annuities in place so that as you get older and start spending less money, since we don't know how long you're going to live, those annuities protect you from running out of money. So it works wonderfully, and it takes off the table this idea that you got to have boatloads of money and continue to stockpile money and risk money for the future, when in more times than not, what I've seen, most people as they age do not need as much money as they think. So if you don't have a written game plan, if you don't have a coach, if you will, that understands how to lay this out, and a team of advisors and service experts that are there to help you accomplish your goals and score points, then why not? Why don't we do this right now? Why don't you log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com and click on that Let's Get Started button, and we can meet in person, or if you like, just have a 10-minute fiduciary free phone call. Or if you like, just simply call the toll-free number on your screen.
Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed that video. If you'd like, check out these other clips, and be sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button for more videos.